What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Galaxy Queen Star. So tonight is Smack Value 4. Just finished watching Charlie Clips versus New Jersey Twerk. This is one of the battles that I couldn't wait, to see. All right, this was a pretty good battle, y'all. This was a really good battle. Clips did come prepared, finally. Okay, I really enjoyed Clips in his round, so let's go. Now, Clips starts off round 1. He was like, talking about New Jersey Twerk and how he be stealing purses and stuff. So he say something like, R&B must stand for robbing bitches, he was saying. Because he was also saying that Twerk, in his bars, he always using like songs or TV, TV commercials and stuff, which he dedicated his second round to, which was so funny and so fire. But we'll get into that, y'all. So when he was talking about how Twerk be using songs a lot and R&B, how do he know all these R&B songs? He must be a bitch and all this stuff. So he was like, R&B must stand for robbing bitches. So he had the crowd laughing with that. Then he was like, you've been wearing hats and hoodies since you was 2, talking about how, his hairline, he used the hairline angle, how he's always wearing hoodies, and that's probably why his hairline is all jacked up. Then, he said something like, fuck a room, I want you to guess what barbershop I'm in. So how Clips is known for in this room and that room doing, different house angles or schemes, house schemes. But he was like, F a room, I guess what barbershop I'm in. Just clowning Twerk basically. And then he say something like, headshot, they had to use your obituary Photoshop. So I thought that was fire. So Clips' first round was decent. He didn't choke, he didn't stumble. It was just decent, and it was just a good, overall good first round. So now we're going to go to New Jersey Twerk. So New Jersey Twerk, he did his thing in his first round. He came energetic, came prepared. He did some Charlie Brown thing. I didn't write the whole bar down, but he was like, Charlie Brown, the great pumpkin, which was fire. The crowd loved it. He say something like, since Charlie bit me, it's one finger on the bagel, fire. Then he say something like, you might just die. How can you wake up out of a casket and say psych I lied? You know how Clips always be like, psych I lie, like when you think that he's about to choke. You could tell he start freestyling, and then he'd be like, psych I lied all the time. So, Twerk had a line for that, which was kind of fire. And then he say something like, guess what room I'm in? The upper room, fire. And then, he starts the first round, Jersey Twerk was exceptional. He had the crowd, like he had some fire haymaker bars, great bars. But right at the end, it's like right when he starts doing good, and I noticed that about Twerk. Right at the end of his rounds is when he started messing up. And then he winds up stumbling or slight choke, and then he ended it. He ended it his rounds. But had he stopped earlier and not try to go too far, he wouldn't have that stumble. All right, so, but he did do enough. It wasn't like a major choke. It was just a slight stumble. So he did enough, in my opinion, to win the first round. He did. He had better bars, better energy, better everything. It's just that he had a small little slight stumble. So now we're going to go to round 2. Now, round 2 to me was Clips' best round. This was his funniest round. That's when he started off and say something like, all you do is use songs and TV commercials and then add bow. So he's like strategically setting up, the bars and stuff in this round. So then he goes, just because he screams and say bow doesn't make him lyrical. Like he kept saying that, every bar Clips would say, people would laugh, then he would say it again. Just because he screams and say bow doesn't mean he's lyrical. So, and then he say a fire bar. The last time I seen my bow, wow, it has scratches on it. And remember what happened to the artist Bow Wow just recently? Him and his girlfriend was arrested on domestic violence, and in that mugshot, Bow Wow had these long, crazy scratches on his face. Okay, so that was fire, that bar. Okay, because before he said that bar, he did set it up saying something about, he don't have no little, bow. With his guns, he was saying he scratched the serial numbers off of it and all this stuff. And the last time he seen his bow was like, wow, had scratches on it. The way he said it was fire. Then he said something like stomach shot, bow, you won't be able to bend ever again. You know, the way he said it was fire. So now we're going to go to New Jersey Twerk second round. So he says something like, this Magic Johnson, when he first got AIDS, I ain't playing with him. You know, remember when Magic Johnson first got AIDS, a lot of his team players were very reluctant to play the game with Magic Johnson because they was afraid that they would catch it, you know. And at that time in the 90s, we didn't really know much about that disease, AIDS. So I thought that was kind of funny. Next bar, he says something like, you rap about any money you earn, I'ma make a killing. So you know earn could be E-A-R-N or earn, U-R-N, which is ashes that go inside of that urn when it's a dead body. Okay, so I thought that was flyer. I can leave bow out gracefully, he says, because he was rebuttaling basically what Clips had said. Then he says something like, I'll give you the only pounds you can't lose, dead weight. Thought that was fire. I'm like Charlie with longevity, extended clips, fire. And we talking about Charlie Clips he battling. Thought that was fire. So that second round, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, that second round was a very close round. I really feel like I give them a tie for that second round. I couldn't really pick a winner. I have to go back and watch it again. But so far, first round went to Twerk. Second round is a tie to me. Now the last round, Clips go. He was kind of fun. He was like, you was NWX for 2 hours. Remember that whole situation when Twerk claimed he was NWX? And, you know, just for him to say maybe a few hours later that he wasn't NWX, he was still Goonie. Then he said something like, Rum milked you, coquito. He said, to remember in the battle with Twerk versus Rum Nitty, at the end, I think it was in the third round, he had that strap in, and then he was like, mojito, taquito, I remember that, stab the knife, poquito, and all this stuff. So Clips had rebutted that, and then at the end, he goes, rum milked you, coquito. Then he stumbled a little bit, okay, then he do a strap in, he was like, I'll clap you in a coma, and put a cap inside his gown, like he grabbed the diploma. I thought that was fire. So now we go to New Jersey Twerk. Now, Clips' third round was fire. He did stumble a little bit. You know, he did pretty good. Twerk's third round was very short. Okay, I was very disappointed. He only let off a few bars. He said something like, you would have left with some Stacey Adams. He was talking, he was using that angle about the math situation. When Math got jumped and Clips was in the background and Clips didn't do anything. So Twerk brung that up and he was like, I heard you had on flip-flops. If you would have left, you would have left with some Stacey Adams. That's what Twerk was saying to him. And then he started mentioning about his pops being a snitch and all this stuff. And then he just ended it. You know, he chokes and ended the round early. And I could tell that Twerk was getting his rounds because as he's trying to spit his bars, you know, he's stumbling here and there. He's looking up, you know. So I just knew that he wasn't really prepared. He didn't really have a third round. He was just basically freestyling. All right, so Clips definitely got the second, well, I don't know if he got the second round, but he definitely got the third because Twerk choked and Twerk ended the third early. So I'm going to give the first to New Jersey Twerk. The second I got to see again, but I'm leaning to Clips on the second, but to me it's really a tie. And the last one is Clips. So I'll give the third round of Clips, first round of Twerk, and the second round I got to see. I really don't know, y'all. I got to see the second round again, but I ain't going to lie, I'm leaning it to Clips. All right, so let me get back to the battle, and I'll be back with my next recap. Later.